Welcome to the CUNA News Weekly Wrap-up for November 27th through December 1st. After a week of lounging, we're back to let you know what's going on in the credit union movement. As always, there's plenty to talk about. We spent the end of November focused on veterans and lending. We'll share some of those stories, including how Army veteran Nate Roop views his employer, Advia Credit Union, as a financial hospital. We'll also discuss how a partnership between Visions Federal Credit Union and Syracuse University aids student veterans. On the lending side, Housing Wire lead analyst Logan Mohtashami talks us through the state of housing economy. Spoiler alert, he calls it savagely unhealthy. With that in mind, Built Technologies manager Ed Rogers shares how high rates and lack of housing inventory are creating opportunities in construction and rehab lending. Here we go. Nate Roop describes Advia Credit Union as a financial hospital. That's what makes a $3 billion asset credit union the right fit for the former Army paramedic, who transitioned from military service to Advia in 2022. There were a lot of hesitancies when leaving the Army, says Roop, Advia's talent acquisition partner. The military is a different environment, so I struggled when it came to not having that surrounding of people, he says. However, he quickly found that Advia's leaders have a sincere passion for helping people. This is why I always describe it as a financial hospital rather than a financial institution. It was a smooth integration, and I still value helping people. Roop and Advia do their best to provide that same feeling to service members and veterans who join the civilian workplace. Visions Federal Credit Union in Endicott, New York, also strives to ease the transition from military service to civilian life. The $5.8 billion asset institution partners with Syracuse University to provide student veterans with academic resources, professional advancement services, and financial education. Veterans might have taken a different path, says Tim Strong, Federal Director of Branding and Public Relations, citing the Vision Student Veteran Success Program. They've taken a different approach by going back to school. That's where we can come into play and ensure they're successful financially while they're in school and after graduation. See all of our veteran profiles at news.cuna.org/veterans. Now, let's go to Denver and the 2023 CUNA Lending Council Conference. Housing Wire lead analyst Logan Mohtashami says the housing economy has too many people chasing too few homes with escalated prices. Hear him discuss what he calls a savagely unhealthy state of housing.
It's actually the word I've been using for the last 2 years. I call it savagely unhealthy. There's too many people chasing too few homes and prices escalated. And it's very hard to grow supply with such good homeowners that it facilitated the biggest home sale crash ever.
High interest rates and a tight housing inventory create opportunities in construction and rehab lending, says Ed Rogers, manager at Built Technologies. He explains how credit unions can succeed in this space. For more from the Lending Council Conference, visit news.cuna.org. Now over to Alex McVeigh, Senior Editor of Public Affairs Communications, for a look at what's happening in Washington, D.C.
CUNA joined NAFCU on comments filed for CFPB Director Rohit Chopra's testimony before House and Senate committees this week. The comments highlighted how the CFPB has missed many opportunities to leverage credit unions' mission to benefit consumers and has failed to recalibrate this approach under Director Chopra. CUNA and NAFCU listed several key principles that should guide any CFPB action, including focusing on bad actors, appropriately tailoring regulations, and being consistent and transparent during the rulemaking, supervision, and enforcement process. The letter also highlighted specific areas of concern for credit unions, including the continued broad use of the term junk fees, proposals to establish an all-in interest rate cap, and legislation to expand the scope of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. The full letters, as well as coverage from the rest of the week in DC, can be found at news.cuna.org.
Thanks, Alex. Our credit union of the week is Leominster Employees Federal Credit Union in Leominster, Massachusetts. The $24 million asset credit union primarily serves city employees and their families. The Leominster Employees Federal Credit Union formed in 1995 with the merger of the Leominster Teachers Federal Credit Union and Leominster Municipal Federal Credit Union. Thomas Clark serves as CEO of the credit union today. Learn more at www.leomfcu.org. That's it for this week's wrap-up. Next month, we'll focus on marketing, hear from several CUNA award winners, and look back at the year that was. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend. To stay up to date on these stories and more, subscribe to Credit Union Magazine, visit news.cuna.org, and listen to the CUNA News podcast at news.cuna.org/podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the description for links to everything discussed in this video.